How's it going, guys? Untamed Gamer here. Glad to see you guys stopped by to check out the content. In today's video, I just thought about, get onto the topic of, how bad this whole thing with the COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak, this pandemic that's going on globally. It is just really crazy, the effect that it has on some people, besides the casualties that this thing has, come upon and have done with the people who have had it and have sadly passed away because of it. It is super crazy. It had such a big effect on us, and you go into some superstores now, and then nearly every shelf on the grocery section, whatever, is nearly whole thing is almost cleared out. Hand sanitizers are pretty much the new thing for like gold mine. If you find a hand sanitizer thing on a shelf, you have pretty much just won the lottery at this moment. It is that ridiculous. It's not really trying to blame the people who are trying to get hand sanitizers and stuff like that, but this thing is crazy, and it is just causing a lot of havoc to a lot of people in a lot of different countries. But I just wanted to point out some things about the worst things that have happened to us humans, and I just wanted to pluck these things out. They're not in really a particular order, but I just wanted to bring these up. First thing, I just wanted to mention right now that as of 3/17/2020, March 17, 2020, that the number of deaths that the COVID-19 coronavirus has caused is about 8,000, but a real number would be 7,965 deaths. And with these things I'm going to mention, I also added a little bit of like a rate, what kind of percentage or whatnot. So I did a little research, and the Earth's population as of 2018 was 7,655,957,369 people on Earth as of 2018. And with the amount of deaths we had, I took the deaths and divided it up by the Earth's population as at that time, and it came out to be just about, it was a pretty small number, but there was a lot of digits in there with a -4e, but it was about 1.04% of the people on Earth that has succumbed to the coronavirus deaths toll. It could be smaller than that, because it was a pretty small number. It was like 1 point something, but we'd all say it was just 1.04%. So that's that. And sorry I had to say that if you guys were a little bit sensitive and touched by that. But I also wanted to bring up some of the other disasters with humans that we've have come across. And the first one I'm going to be pointing out is the 1931 China floods. This was at a time that the Yangtze River had a series of devastating floods that occurred in China. They were some of the deadliest floods in history, and together form one of the most lethal natural disasters of the 20th century. The death toll came from between 422,499 people to 4 million people in China. I didn't really put a percentage there because it was just that 1 year, and I just didn't really want to look up the amount of people at that time. But 4 million people, that is a lot of people. That to me is pretty much wiping off the entire population of Minnesota, the state I live in. In Minnesota, we have about 3.5-ish million people in the state. Next comes the Nazi Holocaust, and this comes with 6 million Jews dead and 5 million non-Jews dead, reaching a total of 11 million. And from the years of 1941 to 1945, which the whole Holocaust thing started that I researched, that came out to be 2.75 million people each year that have died between 1941 and 1945. Next I have here is the Black Death, also known as the Black Plague, and this struck Europe between the years 1346 and 1353, and the amount of people that have succumbed to the death of the Black Plague was about 50 million people, and this wiped out about 60% of Europe completely. It had a population of 475 million people, and it brought it down to about 350 million. And if I were to do that from, year rate, that was about 7.14 million people each year dying because of this Black Plague or Black Death. Next is World War II. World War II still stands as the bloodiest war, bloodiest human conflict that the world has ever seen. 80 million people have died because of this war. Now, I did, put the Holocaust and World War II into its own little, category or whatever. World War II, as I said, has seen 80 million people dead, and that is about almost 13.5 million people every year dying between the years 1939 and 1945. Pretty much the entire time span or whatever of World War II. And the top 3 countries that come up to that casualty list is number 3 coming from Nazi Germany, second coming from China, and the first one that the most casualties was the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union alone makes up 32% of the total deaths because of World War II. Next is a bit of a little history lesson because it's not really, recent history. But about 150,000 years ago, we had, the earliest versions of, us, Homo sapiens. At the time, it was about a time where the Earth was, really wacky climate change. The temperatures were going down in the winters, obviously, but also in the summers. And this was about, time when us humans were still in Africa, trying to figure out what a stick does, At the time, the human race shrunk to only 600 humans. We were the exact same population as a really small town. Compared to the city I live in, to the other cities around, my area, that is just insane. 600 people left. 600 humans, I should say, left on Earth because of this climate change. And I had to tell you, this video is pretty much saying, what's going on right now, it can always get worse. As I said before in the video, about 8,000 people have died because of COVID-19. That's about 1.04% of the entire Earth's population. Now, not that it makes it feel any better, but I'm just saying, we've gone through a lot worse things on the Earth. Yes, this is a really serious pandemic, and everybody should be cautious about this when going out and, having contact with other people. But I'm saying, it could always get worse. 2020 by this far has, the past 5 years has been probably the worst year. Now, a lot of people say, this year is the worst, last year was better, a lot of stuff has happened that really sucked. Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the rest of the other people in the helicopter crash, gone, perished, but not forgotten. And then this whole pandemic thing starting up, it's just insane. And, it looks all gloomy and sorrow right now, but hopefully in the future, this whole thing blows over and we get back to, on track with, our everyday lives. And, just to finish off this video, I just want to give out a good note because this whole video has been really gloomy, talking about all the disastrous things that humans have came up and done to ourselves, or because of some crazy pandemic, or just by Mother Nature herself. A good note is by today, a 100-year-old man with heart failure and Alzheimer's has recovered from the COVID-19 coronavirus, as well as a 103-year-old woman right from Ground Zero in China, Wuhan, China, I believe it's called. She has already recovered from coronavirus, a 103-year-old woman. Now, I'm not really sure because, China is, has some crazy medicines or whatever, that they came up with a cure or something like that. But I just hope this brings out a good note. I just want to bring out something good with this whole gloomy shit that's going on. Sorry for my language. But That's pretty much all I have to say. You know, it could always get worse. Just say that, but still be cautious out there. It's really sucky out there, and I understand it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video about some knowledge of what humans have gone through, you know. And I hope this whole COVID-19, you know, just totally declines. Hopefully, it's one of those things where it's like the flu, and when it warms up, you know, summertime's coming up, and the flu is gone, you know, for a while. Then also COVID-19's gone, and probably at that time we'll have a vaccine. Everyone gets vaccinated, so we don't have to worry about this thing anymore. Or better yet, get on top of it if it does appear, you know, next time, so we have a better, you know, chance of getting rid of that as soon as possible. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next video I ever make. Stay awesome. Have a good one out there.